Is Ned Smyth. It was kind of an honor and great to be asked to be part of this exhibition that really was a fundraiser for Guildhall. I moved out from New York in '94, and there was the old parish and the Guild, and in my mind, both those institutions have kind of really flowered. And so it was really cool, and these two, both of them, but Guildhall particularly is a center for a large group of artists. A lot of us started in New York in the late 60s, early 70s, and we showed together at 112 Green Street with Mary Heilman and Gordon Matta Clark and different people. And we've known each other, and our careers have kind of gone on, and we drifted out here. And so Guildhall becomes a center for, whether it's an opening. Another great thing is the music and theater that goes on here, which we don't have out here. So so it was great to be able to kind of give something. Another connection, I've had work shown here, but I don't know, was it 2 summers ago? They asked me to put one of my large stone pieces in front of the museum, which was great, and I got such great feedback, and to be able to have people see it, and there's such a big community out here beyond the art world, but collectors and all, so it's a great opportunity. This work that I gave, I wanted to give something that was manageable, that people could have in their house. Since the early 70s, have made enormous public commissions, Battery Park City, Philadelphia, LA, all over the country. While I was doing that, I was always making objects. Most of the objects originally kind of came out of Judeo-Christian kind of background of history. My father was an art historian, ran the Institute of Fine Arts, was a monuments man. So I was brought up, dragged to museums, and from age, literally, I was born, we moved to Italy. When I moved to Shelter Island and built a big studio on 8 acres there for big commission work, I moved all my storage, and I had a crate full of stones. And I kind of went, what is this? I don't remember having them, and I took them out, and the shapes were amazing, and two particularly, one, the male figure that I showed out in front, and a female figure. They were only like 5 inches tall, but they were perfect Greek figurative sculptures, of one a female, one a male, without heads, arms, and legs. But when you looked at it, everyone goes, oh, that's a figure. I did stones for quite a while, and at a certain point I couldn't find them. I used to stagger home from the beach every day with stones, and after maybe 6 years of doing that, I couldn't find one stone. I couldn't believe out of billions and trillions of stones, I got them all. But it made me look in other places, and I began to pick up wood from the beach. And at first, some of the wood pieces kind of related to shapes of the stones, but then it just took off, and there was so much the sculptural qualities of it, and I don't touch it. So this piece here, I haven't cut or done anything. And so it's a twig found that had been floating in the water and then landed on the beach. And when I had stored it all this wood for a while in a big room, and at one point I went, oh, this is really a fire hazard. So I started going through it, throwing out things that didn't really make it, and then finding things that were kind of amazing. And the kinds of things, they could look columnar, they could look figurative, they could look like an insect, some people think this looks like. They could be almost gestural drawing. There were all these things that were kind of coming out, and if the stones for me were kind of monuments to matter, to kind of the forming of the planets and our world. The twig pieces are kind of monuments to life that has developed on top of that matter. And both, to me, in my early work, was kind of about reverence, reverence to culture, reverence to a pharaoh or a god in Greece or whatever, the kind of architecture of reverence, the space of reverence. These are really much more kind of monuments, reverence to nature, you know, how matter formed and then how life grew on.